Hello, happy stampers. This is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Washington State, and I'm happy to welcome you and some of my new subscribers. Thank you for joining me. I'm so glad that you are here. I am doing a current catalog project using products from the current mini catalog, which went live on August 3rd. And let me show you some of the products I'm going to be using. Now this one, Artistry Bloom Sequins, is in the annual catalog. It's on page, I didn't put the page number down, but anyway, it's in the annual catalog, and I'm going to be using the Calypso Coral Artistry Bloom Sequins. Then I am using from the mini Nature's Harvest, and I'm actually only using the dies, Harvest dies. So that's what I'll be using there. I'm also from the new mini going to be using the Time Worn type, get that out of my tongue twister, embossing folder. And then from the carryover annual catalog, I'm going to be using the ornate frames. And from the mini catalog, I'm going to be using, in your words, I'm using the Happy Birthday sentiment. So that's what I'm going to be using. Set those aside, get them out of my way, and let me get the card we're going to be making. I've set it down by my computer. I have to go get it. Sorry about that. Okay, best laid plans. Sometimes I just don't. Okay, this is the card we're going to make today. Now I am using Very Vanilla Thick for the base, regular Very Vanilla for the layer and the sentiment, and then for the cutouts from the Harvest dies, I am using the Shimmery in color Shimmer Vellum. And if you haven't looked at these, you need to give them a try. They are absolutely gorgeous. They come, of course, in the 4 new in colors. So this is the Fresh Freesia, or 5 new in colors, I should say. This is the Fresh Freesia. This is the Pale Papaya. This is the Soft Succulent. This is the Polished Pink. And there's also a lovely green, the dark green. Let me see if I can get you a piece of that. Don't have any small pieces, but here's the big one. So there's the Evening Evergreen, and they have an absolutely gorgeous, lovely shimmer on both sides, actually, but there is a front and a back. So the back is smoother, and you can feel the difference. Okay, so we're going to be using that as well, and that's what I cut the flowers out of. And stay tuned, I got a little tip for you that I hope to be able to share with you that is something you haven't seen before. Okay, so actually quite a simple card for the most part. So this is the basic Very Vanilla Thick, cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. It's going to make a side fold A2 greeting card. Then this is just regular Very Vanilla, and it's that Time Worn type, and so you do want to make sure that your words are right side up when you attach it to your card. And I want to just remind you that to do this particular embossing folder, it is a 3D embossing folder. So all you need is the base plate and this plate number 4. You want to put your folder in there with the seam going in first, the fold of this folder, and then you put this on and you put it through. Okay, so I'm probably not staying in my thing very well. So anyway, base plate number 4 with the embossing folder in between and the seam going in first. Okay, so that's that. So that's how I did the embossing, and I actually just put it on flat with Stampin' Seal. Get that on here. Got another beautiful, hot, sunny summer day. I am thankful for air conditioning. It's supposed to get up to 80 here. I know that's probably not very hot for some of you in your Arizona and California places, but for me, That's hot. And here I'm telling you to watch out for that right side up, and I almost did it wrong. Okay. And we'll get this on here. And that Stampin' Seal sticks fast and sticks hard, so you want to be sure and get it in place. Okay, there's that. Now, before I cut these out, I put double-sided adhesive. So that's the adhesive sheets that are in the annual catalog, because they are so delicate, and because vellum has a tendency to want to curl if you put liquid glue on them. The vellum has a tendency to want to curl and not stick very well. So I put double-sided adhesive on there, and it actually did not affect the shimmer at all. It's just still very beautiful. And once you peel off this white backing, they're still very translucent as well. So you don't lose anything there. Okay, and this is where I have a little trick or a tip for you that you might not have been aware of. Let me get the dies, and you'll notice that they'll try to emboss a little bit, and I wanted to show you one way that you could maybe improve that embossing just a little bit by putting your piece back in your embossing, back in the cutting folder, and getting a piece of foam pad of any kind. This is one that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. Then you take your the smallest ball tool, I don't know what that's called, embossing tool, the smallest one that comes with take your pick tool, and then you can run this into those grooves from the back side. And you can't see them, but you can kind of feel them, and it doesn't hurt to kind of check it out and make sure they're there. And I'm going to do the ones on the leaves. I hope I'm getting this in your picture. So just like this. And like I said, it doesn't really matter. And then you can just do that. Then for the dots, if you want the dots to show up, you get your pick tool and you put the pokey tool on the end and just poke through those little holes that are on the front. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? And because you got the foam behind, you can poke through a little bit. Okay, then lift it up. Oh, it didn't get through very good. Let me do some more. This might be a little bit too blunt. I actually have another pokey tool that I used that's much, much finer, and I'm able to get through those holes a whole lot better. So I'm going to use it today because I really want to get a good, and see how much difference that makes. Now I have the embossing here, and I have the little holes there. Then I brought this one in, and I wanted to get these 3 raised sections. So I put it back into the die, and you can fit it in. It lays right into place. Then I'm going to bring back that small embossing tool and just find the center of those flowers and run it around the center of those flowers. And there you have it. I hope you can see that. And then on this one, there are a whole bunch of little holes that go up these. And again, I'm going to bring in that thinner tip because it works better. And I am going to poke each one of those holes on these. And I kind of liked the look, so you'll have to see what you think, but it's just another little trick using your dies to make it look and let's see how that looks. Can you see them? They have the little holes, and it just adds more texture to the piece, and I really liked that. Okay, now I'm going to peel off those backings Peel up that double-sided adhesive, get it started here. Might have to help it along a little bit with all three of those stems. There's that one. There's that one. Get a hold of it a little bit better here. Okay, and we'll just peel those up. And so now the back of this die cut will be sticky, and I'll be able to lay it down. Oopsie, stuck to me. Told you it was sticky. Okay, I'm gonna just press it into place, get it to stick well. And the same thing with this one. We'll just get it in place. Cooperate. There we go. Get that piece out of the way. And we'll put this one down, and we're going to put it at a little bit more of an angle because I want to put that flower in between. There's that one all stuck down. Now this one, when you peel off the backing, these become more translucent. And I didn't like the look of it letting the leaves from behind show through. So I decided to cut a second one out of Very Vanilla, just regular Very Vanilla. I'm going to peel off this backing. There we go. Oopsie, I'm gonna have to come up from the bottom on that part. There we go. And I'm going to attach this to that Very Vanilla cutout. And it's not that hard to do. Just get it. I started with the flower end. Kind of line it up as best I can so that it, there we go. And if you get it off just a hair like I did, you just come back and trim off that little bit of vanilla that's showing. It's not super critical. So we'll trim that off. There we go. Okay, now this is ready to mount, and I am going to mount it with dimensionals. And so let me find all my dimensionals here. I'm going to use mainly minis. How about that? Put one up as far as I can on that leaf. And I'm going to put some up here. Like that. And then I decided it really needed something on this stem, not necessarily this part, but this bottom part. And so, you know, I'm just trimming the edge of my dimensionals here to create a very thin piece. And we will put that on the stem. Get that piece out of the way. There we go. Okay, go on, stick to the thing and not me. That's the tricky part. I'm gonna win eventually. There we go. Okay, and maybe I'll put another small short piece right there on that leaf as well. Let's do that. Just coming up right there. Get the back I think that's adequate. That's all I put on the other one, I think. And then I'm just centering that on here. And so there's that basic look. Get that out of the way. Now we need a sentiment. And the sentiment, like I said, came from In Your Words. I'm going to be stamping it with the Evening Evergreen because it's just a nice dark color. And then I have a question for you that you can answer. If you're watching the video, you can let me know. Do you stamp and then die cut? Or do you die cut first and then stamp? I'd be curious to know. Let me hear from you. And there's that. And this is attached with dimensionals as well. And I just used regular dimensionals on that. And I am going to overlap it just a little bit. So I'm going to put it at the very end on this one, on both sides like this. Because the stem is lifted up, I want that to not press it down. So get that square with the world. I think that looks good. Then I do have a bumblebee trinket on there. Let me get those. I'm in love with these things. I've used one whole package already and working on package number 2. They're just so much fun. They go on beautifully with a little mini glue dot. So let me get one of those right here. And I'm going to put the glue dot on where I want the bee to be, and then I'll stick the bee to the glue dot. There's that. And then I couldn't resist, like I said, from the Artistry Bloom sequins. These are the Calypso Coral ones, and they just match so well. They just coordinate perfectly. So you could put some anywhere you want. I'm going to just put them on my sentiment. A couple different sizes. These are also some of my favorites. So I've also been through a couple sets of these already. So there you go, and you could always put more if you wanted to. So there is today's current catalog. I hope that the tips were something new to you and gave you some inspiration to try. And I thank you for stopping by. If you are not a demonstrator or if you are a customer and don't have a demonstrator, I would love to have you shop with me through my online store. The link to my store will be in the description box below. Thanks again for stopping by.